The Matriarch's truth. The words hung in the air between them, fragile and profound. Dex Holloway stood in the maintenance corridor outside the Grand Promenade, still feeling the weight of the neural disruptor in his pocket, still processing the reality that he'd helped stop an assassination that could have triggered a galactic war. Elara Voss stood beside him, her gray eyes reflecting the same exhaustion and exhilaration he felt. "We should probably report to Admiral Strand," Elara said, though neither of them moved. The adrenaline was fading now, leaving behind a bone-deep wariness that made even standing feel like an effort. Dex checked his datapad. The Matriarch's audience is in 90 minutes. Strand said he'd handle the interrogation of Lieutenant Chen personally. "Do you think Chen will talk?" "He will," Dex said with more certainty than he felt. Strand has ways of being persuasive, and Chen knows his career is over either way. His only choice is between life in a military prison or execution for treason. Elara rubbed her temples, wincing. "I need coffee, and a shower, and about 12 hours of sleep in that order." "The station commissary on level 6 is open all night," Dex offered. "We could." His datapad chimed with a priority message. Both of them tensed reflexively, but it was from Admiral Strand. Interrogation proceeding. Chen singing like a canary. "You two get cleaned up and meet me in conference room 7, level 3, in 75 minutes. The Matriarch wants to see you before the formal debriefing. Good work tonight." Viesta, Elara read over his shoulder and let out a long breath. 75 minutes. Just enough time for that coffee and shower. And to figure out what to say to an ancient energy being who predates human civilization by millennia, Dex added. She smiled despite her exhaustion. "There's that." They walked together through the maintenance corridors, neither speaking, both lost in their own thoughts. The station's night cycle was in full effect, with only emergency lighting and the distant hum of life support systems breaking the silence. It felt surreal to Dex that, just hours ago, he'd been hiding in a projector housing, waiting to stop a murder. Now the immediate crisis was over, but somehow that made everything feel more uncertain, not less. At the intersection where their paths diverged, Elara toward the diplomatic quarters, Dex toward the maintenance section, they paused. "Dex," Elara said, and there was something in her voice that made him turn fully toward her. "What you did tonight, what we did, it matters. I know Admiral Strand will say it in his official way, but I wanted you to hear it from me. You saved lives. You saved the peace." He felt heat rise in his cheeks. "We both did. You found the position. You identified the threat vector. You made the call to move when we did." She reached out and squeezed his hand. "Don't diminish what you accomplished just because you're used to being invisible." Before he could respond, she was gone, disappearing around the corner toward her quarters. Dex stood alone in the corridor, feeling the ghost of her touch on his hand, and realized that Admiral Strand had been right about more than just his potential as an operative. He'd been right that Dex had been waiting for someone, to show him he mattered. He made his way to the communal showers in the maintenance section, grateful that the night shift meant he had the facilities to himself. The hot water felt like absolution, washing away the grime and tension of the past hours. He dressed in a clean maintenance uniform, force of habit, though he suspected those days were numbered, and made his way to the commissary. The Level 6 commissary was a 24-hour facility that catered to maintenance workers, security personnel, and insomniacs from across the station's 50,000 inhabitants. At this hour, it was nearly empty. A handful of bleary-eyed technicians, 2 security guards on break, and an elderly Vexian engineer whose 4 arms worked independently to assemble what looked like a complex piece of equipment while simultaneously eating breakfast. Dex ordered coffee, black, strong enough to strip paint, and found a corner table where he could think. His datapad sat in front of him, and he pulled up the station news feeds. The official story was already being written. A security incident during the Lumineth ceremony preparations. 1 officer arrested. No injuries. Investigation ongoing. Nothing about assassination attempts or galactic conspiracies. Admiral Strand was controlling the narrative, which made sense. The last thing they needed was panic spreading through the station. But Dex couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Lieutenant Chen was one assassin, one piece of Project Reclamation. The conspiracy extended through military ranks, corporate interests, and political circles. How many others were out there? How deep did the rot go? His datapad chimed, a message from Garrett Cole. Where the hell are you? You disappear for 6 hours, miss your entire shift, and now I'm getting inquiries from command about your whereabouts. Call me, now. Dex winced. Cole had been his supervisor for 6 years, had given him steady work, and asked no questions when Dex preferred to remain anonymous and unremarkable. He deserved better than radio silence. He tapped out a reply. Sorry, Cole. Got pulled into something by Admiral Strand. Can't explain yet, but I'm okay. We'll fill you in when I can. Thanks for covering for me. The response came within seconds. Admiral Strand? What the hell have you gotten yourself into, kid? Dex smiled despite himself. Something that matters. Talk soon. He finished his coffee and checked the time. 45 minutes until the meeting with the Matriarch. He made his way to Level 3, the command sector, where Conference Room 7 was located. The corridors here were wider, cleaner, with polished floors and walls, displaying the insignia of the Galactic Assembly. 73 species united in fragile cooperation. Elara was already waiting outside the conference room, looking refreshed despite the short time frame. She'd changed into her formal diplomatic corps uniform, deep blue with silver trim, the colors of the assembly, and had pulled her dark hair back into a professional bun. But Dex could see the exhaustion in her eyes, the tension in her shoulders. Ready? She asked. Not even a little bit, Dex admitted. She smiled. Good. That means you're taking this seriously. The conference room door opened, and Admiral Strand emerged. He looked like he'd aged a decade in the past few hours, lines of stress etched deep around his pale blue eyes. But there was satisfaction in his expression too, the look of a man who'd won a crucial battle. Dex, Dr. Voss, he nodded to each of them. The Matriarch is waiting. Before you go in, you should know what Chen told us. They followed him a few steps down the corridor, out of earshot of the guards stationed at the conference room entrance. Project Reclamation is bigger than we thought, Strand said quietly. Chen named 17 co-conspirators on this station alone. Military officers, corporate liaisons, even 2 members of the diplomatic corps. We're making arrests as we speak, but quietly. The last thing we need is the conspirators realizing how much we know. And the Matriarch? Elara asked. She knows everything, Strand said. More than everything, actually. That's why she wants to speak with you two specifically. She has information about Project Reclamation that predates even my anonymous warning 3 months ago. Information that changes our understanding of what we're dealing with. Dex felt a chill run down his spine. What do you mean? Strand's expression was grim. She claims this conspiracy didn't start with Zeta-Seven. It's been building for years, maybe decades. And it's not just about starting a war or securing corporate profits. According to her, there's something else driving it. Something ancient. Ancient? Elara's voice was sharp with professional interest. The Precursors? She wouldn't say more until she could speak with you directly. Strand glanced at the conference room door. Whatever she tells you, I need you to remember something. The Lumineth have been observing our galaxy for millions of years. They've seen civilizations rise and fall. If she says something is dangerous, we need to take that seriously. He placed a hand on Dex's shoulder. You've done well, both of you. But the hard part isn't over. It's just beginning. With that, he gestured toward the conference room. Dex and Elara exchanged a glance, then walked toward the door together. The guards, Marines in full combat armor, Strand wasn't taking any chances, scanned their credentials and stepped aside. The conference room was larger than Dex expected, designed to accommodate diplomatic meetings between species with vastly different physical requirements. The ceiling was 3 stories high, with atmospheric controls that could be adjusted for different oxygen levels and temperatures. Holographic projectors lined the walls, currently displaying a serene starfield, and in the center of the room, hovering 2 meters above the floor, was the Lumineth Matriarch. Dex had seen images of Lumineth before, but nothing had prepared him for the reality. She was beautiful and terrifying in equal measure, a being of pure energy contained in a roughly humanoid shape, constantly shifting between states of matter and light. Her form was translucent, revealing layers of complexity within. geometric patterns that resembled both circuit boards and organic neural networks, colors that had no names in human language, and something that might have been eyes or might have been windows into another dimension entirely. Two attendants flanked her, smaller energy beings that served as translators and honor guard. One of them spoke in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The matriarch welcomes Dex Holloway and Dr. Elara Vos. She thanks you for your service in preserving her life and preventing war. Elara bowed formally. Dex, unsure of the proper protocol, did the same. The matriarch's form pulsed with light, and when the attendant spoke again, the voice carried weight that made Dex's bones vibrate. You have questions. This is natural. But first, you must understand what you have truly prevented tonight. The holographic projectors activated, and suddenly they were surrounded by star systems. Dozens of them, connected by lines of light representing trade routes, communication networks, and military alliances. It was a map of the known galaxy, centered on human space. Project Reclamation, the attendant translated as the matriarch's energy signature fluctuated, is not a human conspiracy. It is a human symptom of a much older disease. The star map shifted, zooming in on specific systems. Red markers appeared. Incidents of violence, diplomatic failures, mysterious attacks. 17 years ago, the Korvathi incident. 13 years ago, the Thrin border conflicts. 9 years ago, the Vexian trade embargo. 6 years ago, the Meridian Dynamics weapons scandal. 3 years ago, the Critharium incursions begin. Each event seemingly unrelated. Each event driving wedges between species, increasing military spending, creating fear and suspicion. Elara's face had gone pale. You're saying these were all connected? All part of the same conspiracy? Not conspiracy, the attendant said. Manipulation, corruption, infection. The star map zoomed out again, and now Dex could see a pattern he'd missed before. The red markers formed a shape, a spiral that radiated outward from a single point deep in uncharted space. The precursors, Dex breathed. The matriarch's form brightened, and he felt approval radiating from her like heat from a sun. The precursors left many things behind when they transcended, the attendant translated. Technologies, ruins, and guardians, designed to prevent younger species from accessing knowledge they were not ready to possess. But some guardians were corrupted, twisted, made to serve a different purpose. The hologram shifted again, showing an artifact, a crystalline structure that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The cosmic crucible, the attendant said, a precursor device capable of reshaping reality itself. For 3 million years, its location has been hidden, protected by guardians and ancient protocols. But someone has found it. Someone is using its influence to corrupt minds across the galaxy, planting seeds of discord and war. Why? Dex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The matriarch's form darkened, and when the attendant spoke, there was something like sorrow in the translated words. Because the crucible requires vast amounts of death and suffering to activate fully. It feeds on conflict, grows stronger with each act of violence. Project Reclamation was meant to trigger a galactic war that would provide the energy needed to unlock the crucible's full power. Who? Elara demanded. Who found it? Who's behind this? The matriarch pulsed once, and the attendant's voice carried a note of frustration. That we do not know. The corruption is subtle, working through intermediaries and proxies. Admiral Chen, Lieutenant Chen, Dex corrected automatically. The attendant paused, and the matriarch's form flickered. When the translation resumed, there was urgency in it. No, Admiral Chen. Ambassador Chen was a distraction, a red herring to draw attention away from the true threat. Lieutenant Chen was a puppet, expendable. Admiral Chen is the true conspirator, and he is still free. Dex felt the floor drop out from under him. Admiral? There are dozens of admirals on this station. Not on the station, the attendant said. In the fleet. The rapid response fleet that left for Zeta-Seven hours ago. Elara turned to Dex, horror dawning on her face. Admiral Strand sent them to investigate the false evidence he planted, but if there's a conspirator among the fleet admirals, then they're walking into a trap, Dex finished. The matriarch's form blazed bright, and the attendant's voice became commanding. The fleet must be recalled immediately. Admiral Chen plans to use the false evidence at Zeta-Seven to justify a full military strike against Critharium space. The resulting war will feed the crucible, and bring us all one step closer to its activation. Dex was already moving toward the door, Elara right behind him. But the matriarch's voice, her actual voice, not translated but somehow comprehensible, resonating directly in his mind, stopped him cold. Dex Holloway, you carry something within you, something ancient, something the Crucible recognizes. You are not here by accident. He turned slowly. The matriarch had descended until she was at eye level with him, her energy form pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. "What are you talking about?" he asked. But before she could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Red emergency lights flooded the corridor outside, and Dex's datapad erupted with priority alerts. The fleet had just dropped out of faster-than-light travel at Zeta-Seven, and they were opening fire on Cratharium civilian ships. War had begun.
Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures.